Thanks for joining us today for this free webinar presented by Business Central Insights. We have more people coming in. Today's session, Transforming Manufacturing Reporting in Business Central with Power BI, will show how Business Central Insights delivers real-time manufacturing insights from BC without spreadsheets or custom builds. We'll be spending about 30 minutes together, including some time at the end for questions. And just so you know, this session is being recorded and will be available on demand after the live event. So you'll receive a follow-up email, with a link to the recording within the next 24 hours. And as we move through the presentation, please submit any questions that you may have through the Q&A panel or in the chat, and we'll address as many of those as we can at the Q&A portion at the end. And as a reminder, please stay muted during the session. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce today's presenters, Dayon, the founder, and Craig McCracken, Customer and Partner Success Manager at Business Central Insights. Guys, I will turn it over to you.
Okay, yeah. Dayon, do you want to start your introduction?
Yeah, so hi everyone. Yeah. So my name is Dayon. Like Robbie mentioned, I'm the founder of the company, also responsible for product development.
And that brings me to Craig. Yeah, so I'm the Customer and Partner Success Manager at Business Central Insights, and my role, we work closely with customers and partners to consistently sort of seeing the same reporting challenges come up. Business Central is extremely powerful operationally, but when it comes to analysing performance and gaining deeper insight, many teams run into limitations. So I just wanted to quickly go through some of those challenges here before we sort of look into how we solve that in our reports. So, Business Central provides solid standard reporting, but deeper analysis such as trends and period comparisons and performance drill down often requires additional manual work. This leads to fragmented insights, data is exported to Excel, separate reports are created, and teams end up working from multiple versions of truth. This results in slower decision making, and when organisations try to fix it themselves, it often means added cost, complexity, and ongoing maintenance. So how do we address this? On the next slide, I'll let you know. So Business Central Insights delivers over 400 ready-made Power BI reports across finance, inventory, sales, purchasing, and today manufacturing you're going to see. And it's available immediately once connected. So the reports are highly configurable to your dimensions and account structures, fully customizable, use our semantic models and analytic cubes, and secured with built-in row-level security. So it's designed for business users, not just technical roles, and supports multi-company environments and complex organizational structures. On the next slide, I'm going to bring you through into the manufacturing side of things, which we're going to go through today. With proactive production control, you can identify bottlenecks, delays, and delivery risks early, instead of reacting after they impact delivery performance. From a margin protection perspective, you gain real-time visibility into material, labour, and variance drivers, so issues are addressed immediately rather than at the month end. And then working capital optimization becomes practical with clear visibility into stock levels and aging inventory, helping reduce excess stock and prevent costly stockouts. And critically, it creates operational and profitability alignment. You can clearly see how production performance directly impacts margins. So that's exactly what we're going to demonstrate here right now. So using our inventory and manufacturing reports inside Business Central Insights. So a quick outline of today's demo. We'll start with a few key inventory reports, including stock aging, availability, stock coverage, and stock out analysis, which are especially relevant for manufacturing and distribution environments. From there, we'll move into the Manufacturing Insights app to look at production KPIs, on-time and in-fill performance, cost and variance analysis, capacity utilization, and production planning. This is a short overview to show what is possible and how better reporting on top of Business Central can support smarter operational decisions. Each of these apps contains more than 30 reports, so if you'd like a deeper walkthrough tailored to your business, you can book a session with us afterwards at businesscentralinsights.com. Quick look at the inventory homepage here, and you can see our entire inventory reporting suite, covering stock levels, movements, valuations, order fulfillment, availability, and key inventory ratios. Let's start with inventory aging. By default, it is showing your aging by location and item in this hierarchy here, and then the aging buckets in these columns. What really draws you in is these colored buckets and this color-coded bar chart at the bottom. The great thing about Power BI is it's interactive, and you can drill into those at the click of a button and see exactly what items in each location have been idle, for example, over 365 days. You can then filter on the right to different cost measures for invoiced, expected, or invoiced and expected. By holding Control or Command key, I can actually add them as additional columns, just like this with quantity. Further up in these filters, just as you can in all our reports, you can view by different companies or show a consolidated view by removing the checked box. Then you can slice by year or month, or also by location and item category. This gives you flexibility to slice to however you want to see your data. In the rows here, you will find all your dimensions. In this case, let's add item group level 1. If you have hierarchical dimensions set up, and with a click of a button, you're analyzing this dimension. Then we can go deeper by adding item group for the next layer and create hierarchies using Control and Command. Then I can add additional dimensions, say sector level 1, and then see the aging groups in more detail by using the expand down one level option over here. In fact, any of these rows and columns you can choose and create your own reports with a few clicks. So one report can be a multitude of reports in itself to suit the user's needs. And as you can with all our reports, you can bookmark your configuration up here on the right if this is a view you will always want to see. And you can also share this view either by a link or via Teams in a meeting when discussing business metrics. I've spent a bit of time on this report as I wanted to go over some of the standard features that are helpful in analysing any particular report we have throughout our apps. The last bit I want to touch on before moving on to a more use case overview of some key reports is you can always drill through to the underlying data by right-clicking a figure and then choosing drill through and item ledger entries in this case. Then if you click on this, it connects you directly to the Business Central data it originated from. It's an extremely helpful feature. The key takeaway from this report is it now becomes very easy to identify slow-moving items, excess stock, and opportunities to optimize working capital. Let's check out a similar report, the Inventory Activity Aging Report. It's a more advanced aging logic based on entry type. For example, you can analyze aging since last purchase, sale or consumption, or even sale and consumption. And then lastly, since the last production output, all with just one click. Then you have balance metrics along with dates, costs, profits, all in rows on one table here, and then you can easily view those by aging group. This helps answer practical questions such as which items haven't been sold in over a year, which components haven't been consumed in production recently, or which purchased items may have become obsolete. On to another key inventory report, out of stock days. This shows how many days within a selected period an item had zero inventory. You can quickly see an item and exactly how often it was out of stock. We extend this further by also showing days below safety stock and trends over time. This is especially useful for critical components and high value consumption items, where stockouts directly impact production or customer deliveries. We also enrich this with business context, such as revenue, cost of goods sold, or item profit, so you can focus on the items that matter most. These are all easily added as columns in the measures on the left here to whatever you like to see. Days of inventory consumption is another interesting report. This tells you how many days of stock you can currently hold based on historical usage. It's calculated using inventory value and average daily consumption cost. What makes this especially useful is that we support different calculation approaches, including average daily, average monthly, beginning and ending, or minimum and maximum inventory values. So you can balance precision and performance based on your reporting needs. You will also notice color-coded traffic light warnings. These are all set by your own metrics within our connector and are a quick visual cue to identify problem areas or where you're doing well. Next, in the Inventory Insights app, the item availability table, another important report in the inventory area. This report brings together all supply, covering all incoming quantities expected to increase inventory, such as purchase orders, production orders, and transfer receipts. And then it covers demand as well, so all outgoing or allocated quantities, including sales and consumption already committed to specific orders that are included in Business Central. So you see the complete picture in one place. It calculates the projected available balance, showing how inventory is expected to change over time, and considers both incoming supply and ongoing demand, giving you clear visibility into how your inventory is expected to develop. You also have the option to include forecast quantities, which allows you to calculate a fully forecasted projected inventory position. I can scroll down the many measures you could choose from and simply add forecast quantity and forecasted projected inventory by holding Control or Command. This makes the report extremely useful for planning, both for manufacturing and for distribution. The report also fully supports reservations for quantities specifically allocated between a supply and a demand, ensuring that inventory is protected for a particular order or transaction, and reserve quantities are correctly reflected in availability and projected balances. The result is a reliable, realistic view of inventory availability that you can trust for operational decisions. One last thing to note is that these measures shown here are not even the full amount available. The full range can be displayed by opening Show More and then clicking True. This also adds to the rows or columns depending on the report. So the permutations for creating reports all within one report really is endless, and there's something there for every business user. Lastly, in our Inventory Insights app, the Inventory Valuation Report. This report gives you a clear overview of how both inventory quantity and value change over a selected period. It combines the operational movements with the financial impact, so you get full transparency into how inventory develops over time. The report is structured around 4 key columns. It follows a simple reconciliation structure showing the opening balance, the increases, the decreases, and the ending balance. This makes it easy to understand how inventory has moved and how the value has changed between 2 points in time, which can be toggled using the slider, as I showed before. And then instead of just looking at item category and item as is the default, you can switch the view to area, industry, or item group, or any of your dimensions in Business Central, which can be extremely powerful for both operational and financial analysis. The report also supports quantity analysis in the base unit of measure or alternative units, and value analysis based on either expected cost or actual invoiced cost. So it's ideal for things like month-end closing and reconciliation, financial reporting and audit support, understanding inventory fluctuations, and explaining how and why inventory value has changed between periods. It's a very practical report that links the operational activity directly to the financial impact, all in one place. We've only touched the surface here, with dozens more reports available to analyze performance, identify risks, and optimize inventory across your business, all back on the homepage. But let's now switch over to the Manufacturing Insights app. Firstly, the Production Overview Report is a high-level overview showing key production KPIs across the top for year-on-year, monthly average, or finished percentage. In the interactive charts, it visualizes output by order status, location, quantity over time, and then along the bottom for item, production order, area, and industry. You can quickly change to actual material or capacity cost and dynamically change the metric and instantly update the visuals, and that can be seen for due date or finish date depending on your business requirements. This report is great for that quick snapshot of your production. Let's move on to the production cube. The cubes are one of the most powerful features across all our apps. They allow you to build your own reports by simply selecting rows, columns, and measures. You can analyze output, quantity, or any other metric like production cost, capacity, number of orders by item, location, month, dimension, or any other combination that matters to you. You can easily create custom hierarchies, for example. You might want to see the quantity of produced items by month. So with a few clicks, I have that at my disposal. But then you may want to see production orders underneath it. We can add that holding Control or Command and then expand down to that level. You can then add some more measures from the list here. Let's add an additional column, let's say actual total cost here at the bottom. Now, along with hierarchies as rows, you can also create them as columns. So let's look at the fiscal quarter and then by month. So holding Control and Command, I add the month to the fiscal quarter, and then you'll notice this drop down here, which you change to column, and now you have a column hierarchy as well once you expand down one level. These cubes are perfect for ad hoc reports, as there are countless report designs you can create, and then you just simply bookmark it and it's always there for you to use. I'll move on to another very useful report in our manufacturing arsenal, the on-time and in-full production report. An incredibly important area for production orders. In full simply means the planned quantity matches the output quantity. On time can be calculated in different ways, such as comparing finish date to due date or comparing last output date to the planned ending date. You can switch between these methods and the report recalculates instantly. This helps you clearly understand delivery reliability and where problems occur. We then take this even further by measuring on-time and in-full routing. This report measures how reliably your production operations are executed against plan. For every routing operation, whether on a work center or a machine center, we evaluate two things. Was the operation completed on time, meaning all output was posted before or on the planned ending date? And was it completed in full, meaning the entire required quantity was produced? Only when both conditions are met does the operation count as on time and in full compliant. This gives you your internal production on time and in full percentage here, essentially a health indicator of how well your production engine is running. Why is this important? Because late or incomplete operations create delays downstream, impact finished goods, and eventually affect customers' deliveries. By monitoring on time and in full at the routing level, you can quickly identify bottlenecks, unrealistic planning assumptions, or capacity issues and take action early. This report helps you move from reactive firefighting to proactive production control. So that's production planning and delivery covered, but you can't produce anything without costs. So let's move on to the production cost overview report, where cost analysis is the major focus. You can analyze material, capacity, subcontracting, and overhead costs, for example, as well as view the actual, expected, or standard costs. Additionally, you can see all the variances, and that is reflected in these plots in the dashboard over time, by item, production order, area, or order status. As always, everything is dynamic, so you can easily change perspective and drill into the areas that need attention. Sticking with costs, let's check out the standard cost variance report. This report compares actual production costs with your predefined standard costs across all cost types or components, again including material, capacity, subcontracting, and manufacturing overhead. It shows you exactly where and why costs deviate from expectations. You can see this for every production order, finished product, or a given month over time. We calculate the variance between what production should have cost and what it actually cost. If actual costs are higher than standard, you immediately see a color-coded unfavorable variance. If they're lower, you see a favorable one. But the real value is the breakdown by cost type. You can quickly identify where the deviations are driven by material price changes, longer processing times, machine inefficiencies, or overhead absorption issues. This report is critical because it directly protects your margins. It connects operational performance with financial results and helps you take action early, whether that means adjusting standards, improving efficiency, or correcting pricing assumptions. It gives you full cost transparency and control over production profitability. Moving on to capacity analysis, we have the actual versus expected capacity report. This is for companies that actively manage capacity. It provides detailed capacity analysis, including actual versus expected usage, utilization trends, and deviations by work center and machine center. You can even go more granular in your time frames and milliseconds if you're super precise. This gives operations teams meaningful insight into efficiency and constraints. Lastly, the production Gantt chart. This gives a clear visual overview of all production orders, their start and end dates, and completion percentages on the right here. It's a simple but very effective way to understand what's happening on the shop floor at a glance. Beyond the built-in reports, you can also get full access to the underlying data model. You can use Analyze in Excel to build pivot reports or create your own reports directly in Power BI. These reports remain connected to your data and refresh automatically. We also offer training sessions for customers who want to become fully self-sufficient in building their own analytics. On the homepage, you can see all our manufacturing reporting, covering production performance, costs, routing, capacity, and operational KPIs. From here, you can quickly navigate to the key reports across inventory, production, variances, planning, and utilization. And this is only the tip of the iceberg in terms of the insights you can see. As we wrap up, let me briefly highlight some of the key additional capabilities we support across all of our apps. First, flexibility. Our solution fully supports table extensions. That means if you add custom fields in Business Central, they can easily be brought into Power BI. You're not locked into a fixed data model. If your business evolves, your reporting evolves with it, quickly and without complex redevelopment. Second, we support multi-entity management, or MEM. If you operate multi-legal entities, we ensure consistent reporting across them while still maintaining the required separation of data. This is especially important for growing or international companies. In fact, all of our reports support multi-company consolidation and even multi-environment consolidation. So whether your companies are in the same Business Central environment or across different environments, we can consolidate them into one unified reporting layer. This provides group-level transparency without manual data exports or Excel consolidation. We also support reporting in multiple currencies. You can analyze performance in local currency, reporting currency, or group currency, which is essential for international businesses that need consistent financial insights across regions. And last but not least, we support row-level security. This means users only see the data they are authorized to see, whether that's by company, department, region, or responsibility center. This is critical for data governance, confidentiality, and management control. It allows you to safely share reports across the organization without compromising sensitive information. In short, our apps are built not just for reporting, but for scalable, secure, and enterprise-ready analytics that grow with your business. If you like what you've seen today, you can get started right away. The setup is simple. It takes about 10 minutes to connect to your Business Central environment, and we offer a 30-day free trial. We also offer training for our reports to build your team's knowledge and usage. So that brings us to the end of today's demo section. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope this gave you a clear picture of how our apps can support manufacturing and distribution reporting and decision making. We're now open to take some questions.
There we are. We are back. And just so you all know, you are now able to unmute yourself if you still have any questions. I saw a few come in the chat as well.
Yeah, there was one question. I was asking about additional unit of measures in our inventory app. I already replied in the comments. So basically, our apps are supporting also additional item unit of measures. And you can set up to 6 additional unit of measures. Then basically will convert the base unit of measure to other unit of measure based on the setup in Business Central, so in item unit of measure tables. Yeah.
And how long does that setup usually take? Just in general.
So in general, to install our apps, right, it usually takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So when we have our demos and calls with our customers, at the end, we will reserve 10 minutes and we will install the apps and activate 30-day trial. So then they can test all the reports with their own data for 1 month, the full version of all the reports. Yeah.
Wow. And I see Dave has a question.
Yeah, I was wondering, are you able to review capacity and move production orders in a multi-site environment? So for instance, if at site 1, I've got work center A, and at site 2, I've got work center B, to be able to see the capacity of each and then move production from work center A to work center B.
Okay. So does it mean that you will have multiple companies in your Business Central environment?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all our apps are multi-company. So you'll be able to select which companies you want to import and into Power BI, and then you can simply switch between companies or show consolidated view across all companies, and that will mean all the work centers and machine centers. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's truly a Power BI app sitting on top of BC, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so basically all your different entities or companies will be in one semantic model in Power BI, consolidated. And also, if you have multiple environments, we even support that to bring in multiple environments as well and have a consolidation across different, let's say, countries with multiple different Business Central environments.
Right, but the root data manipulation would occur in BC, right? I wouldn't be doing it from this app.
Yes, yeah. So we're only reading data from Business Central. So all the data is in Business Central. Yeah, our apps don't, let's say, write back. We're only reading data and do the reporting. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So another question that I had for you guys too is it expensive?
Yeah. So our pricing is on our website. Not sure we can maybe share the screen. Let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, of course.
So here we go. So yeah, on our website, businesscentralinsights.com, there's a section of pricing, and basically you have 2 tiers, standard and premium, and the difference is in the number of users. So for up to 10 users, the standard tier will apply, and for unlimited users, there's a premium tier. So for example, today we reviewed inventory app and manufacturing app. So if you would need inventory reports for up to 10 users, that would cost $100 per month. And that's the only cost that's included, right? So this also includes all the support, all the training sessions, the installation, and so on. So there's a lot of value for the money. Yeah. The most common would be those 2 bundles. So we have operations bundle that includes 3 apps, sales, purchasing, inventory, and the bundle costs either $200 or $300 per month. And then financial bundle that includes all the financial reports, and it's also the same price. Yeah.
Fantastic. And the last question that I have for you guys today is, do I need technical expertise to use the reports?
Well, so all our apps are built-in standard Power BI. So that means there's a lot of, let's say, contractors and people who already know Power BI. And already many companies or many people in the company know Power BI. So it's really easy, intuitive to learn Power BI. Now, the good thing is that we have lots of tutorials on our website that are related to our apps. So someone who would like to get started can easily watch the videos on our website. And that's a great way to about Power BI and also about Business Central reporting.
Fantastic. And it looks like Victor has a question. Victor, did you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, sure. Good evening. Okay, it's evening where I am really. Thanks for the presentation. Yeah, mine is a common question that I'd like to pose to the team. Let's say, or rather, is it possible to design a report which shows the most active bombs, from active to the least used bombs? Let's say we have where my list of bombs are not that different. The difference might come in whereby I have one ingredient or item that is not common to the rest of the other bombs. So they're quite similar, so to say. So in the sense of perhaps I'd the goal that I'd seek to answer or to achieve is out of the list of bombs that I do have, maybe 20 bombs, and I've mapped them to a particular item, to the finished goods. So which set of bombs are actively used, from the active to the least used? Is it possible to do such a report?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I could share screen and show some examples, but those questions are more like for one-to-one demos. Here I will invite everyone to book a call with us, and we could do a deep dive demo and answer all those questions. But just to answer the question, for example, in our manufacturing app, you could show a bill of materials, and then for each of those, you could show number of production orders, the quantities, and so on, the cost. And based on that, you can sort and see the most active ones, for example. So that could be one way, but definitely would recommend to schedule a call with us, because now we're already running out of time. But what I'll do in the chat, I will paste our booking link, so you could immediately book a call through that to get a free demo, and we could review the apps, answer all those specific questions, and so on.
All right,
Fantastic.
thanks.
Thanks for the question, Victor. And that does look like all of our time for today. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who is able to join today. And thank you again, Dayan and Craig, for presenting for us today. I hope you all enjoyed it, found it insightful, and I hope you all have a great day.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and thanks Robbie for hosting us as well.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.